that stuff. My question to you is, I don't know what the answer on the drug war is. Okay, I agree with you that it is a giant failure. Locking up people in prison for non-violent. I always say prison should be meant for violent people and people who steal from people, like in particular white collar people, right? But even on a lower level. And we've seen people do the thing where they decriminalize drugs, and it just seems to make it even worse. Like if I put you in charge, I'm asking, I'm not trying to press you. I'm asking you honestly, like, what would you do to deal with the drug situation?
Well, I think yeah, you're right, man. I know there has been a couple places. I think it was Oregon who rescinded they ended up putting drug laws back into place. I think maybe it was even Portland. I don't know if it was the whole state of Oregon, but yeah, I get it, man. Obviously a cultural problem. There's obviously a spiritual problem happening. There's a deeper desire for why people are using drugs, and I don't think that gets discussed enough. I think that has to be acknowledged, and I think that needs to be reprimanded in its own right. But honestly, what's going to make it worse is more violence, more people in cages, and more laws that, it's only going to amplify the police state. They're not going to be using these new laws or whatever Trump's going to do to take on these cartels. Again, I think it's going to be targeted towards the American people because they're going to be ambiguous. The laws are going to be ambiguous. It's going to give the police state more power. So ultimately, we just have to decriminalize drugs. We have to give the options of drug rehabilitation centers. I'm not saying
Right.
they don't have to be publicly funded necessarily, but like, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
But no. But I'm totally agreeing with you. They can't be publicly funded. If we have privatized prisons, why can't we have privatized rehabs
Sure, sure.
where
But I mean,
people
yeah,
go, you don't throw them in cages and
yeah,
you help them detox off their drugs is because they don't have a lot of hope.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
what I've been talking about on some of my shows about why all these Middle Easterns join or anywhere third world countries join militias. It's because there's no jobs anywhere. There's the only job that is hiring is the military industrial complex, and there's no way to work. Your family's been blown up. Everyone you know is dead, and you only thing you option you have is grab a gun and run into here and do the same thing to others what was done to you and traumatize them. So now we got generational problems. And eventually, the people who pay you are going to try to assassinate you because they're going to be fighting terror. So I don't know what the answer is on drugs. I know that, when I did drugs, part of because I had a drug problem, part of the problem was, I had to get drugs, I had to go through this process of buying the drugs and then finding somewhere to do the drugs. I don't think it's natural to allow human beings to know it's go here, grab drugs. There's going to be no consequences for the drugs, and you can just destroy your life. That seems to me to be the thing that stops a lot of people from doing drugs. I don't know what the answer is.